Did you know that how you write can reveal more than 5,000 personality traits? The shape and size of your letters and even the spacing between them can reveal a lot about you.
Welcome to the podcast, A World in a Word, which is a platform for entrepreneurs with a conscience to share their aspirations and their vision for the betterment of the individual and society. To that end, we invite experts on various fields to join us and share their experience. We have with us today one such expert on graphology, Mansi Thakkar. Thank you for accepting our invitation and joining us on A World in a Word.
Thank you, Sonie, for inviting me.
Mansi, there are a lot of myths that we need to clear. Some people feel it's an occult science. Some people mix up graphology with limit it only to handwriting analysis. या तो मैं हिंदी में कहूँ तो इसको लोग एक रहस्यमय विद्या समझते हैं या इसको कुछ अजीब सा तंत्र मंत्र वाला कोई विज्ञान समझते हैं. There is a lot that we need to share and to tell people about.
Yes, Sonie, there is a lot we can talk about graphology. Graphology has a bigger scope than only handwriting. So handwriting या तो हस्ताक्षर जो बोल सकते हैं तो वो only pertaining to handwriting analysis होता है, जबकि graphology is anything written with your hand. जैसे आपकी handwriting है, signature है, कहीं आप डूडल कर रहे हो, डूडलिंग है, आपने ड्राइंग कुछ बनाई है आपके हाथ से, वो सारा एनालिसिस अगर किया जाए, इट रिवील्स कि आपका माइंड कैसे चलता है, हाउ योर माइंड वर्क्स, हाउ इट थिंक्स, हाउ इट रिएक्ट्स इन अ सर्टेन सिचुएशन, उसको ग्राफोलॉजी बोलते हैं.
Okay, so it's a much wider scope. 2-3 interesting handwriting samples हैं जो हमारे production team में नए members जुड़े हैं, तो हम आपको उनका handwriting दिखाना चाहते हैं.
Sure.
And let's see what you can tell us about them. And here are some samples that I'd like to share with you, Mansi.
Well, okay, the first one is Simran and she says कि वो एक video editor है, उन्होंने लिखा है और उनकी signature है. Very imaginative she is. जितने तीनों मेरे पास है उसमें से सबसे ही ना नहीं बोल सकती. फ्रेंडशिप या रिलेशनशिप से डर लगता है कि कोई मुझे छोड़ के ना चला जाए. So वो हर बार हाँ बोल देगी अगर वो नहीं चाहती फिर भी.
तो बहुत ज्यादा मदद करती है, जरूरत से ज्यादा मदद करती है.
She will do things only when she is convinced. और थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस उसका ज्यादा है. कुवीर और रमिता वो अपने हिसाब से चलते हैं. They are like I me myself, हाईवे और माई वे दोनों. हाँ, लेकिन दोनों के अपने अपने अलग ट्रेट्स हैं. रघुवीर को शायद लगता है कि वो टेकन फॉर ग्रांटेड, क्योंकि वो जैसे ही काम हाथ में आता है शुरू कर देते हैं, फिर एंड में जाके पता चलता है अच्छा ये तो शायद मुझसे नहीं मांगा गया था. ये लोग भले हाईवे और माई वे है बट स्टिल दे विल गो विद द फ्लो इवन इफ दे आर नॉट कन्विंस्ड. तीनों ही वेरी क्रिएटिव, सारे के सारे वर्किंग फॉर अ क्रिएटिव, इंट्यूटिव है. थोड़े रघुवीर इज मोर लॉजिकल.
पर ये एक बहुत अच्छा कॉम्बिनेशन है ना, इंट्यूटिव और लॉजिकल और एक फोकस रखना. तो शायद हम इंटरप्रेट दोनों तरफ से कर सकते हैं.
ग्राफोलॉजी या जो एनालिसिस है उसमें कुछ भी सही या गलत नहीं होता. नथिंग इज राइट और रॉन्ग, एवरीथिंग इज pertaining to what profession or what area of work you are doing. Something for me may be negative, but the same thing becomes positive for you.
So if I interpret what you say, then for one person, this man is my way or the highway. जैसे मैं कहता हूँ वही सच है, पर कोई और बोलेगा he is so determined. या आपके जो clients हैं जिनके साथ आप counseling करते हैं, when you are counseling people individually, I'm sure that you have to shape your rephrase.
Yes. So the same trait is interpreted or looked, or we can say perspective. अलग हो जाती है कि if you are the boss and leading, you need to be that person who works with his determination or his thought process, or like, okay, this is how I want to do it. If you start being a part of a group or a team, then how do you work? Again, in the same group, if you are leading one section, then you need to have your opinions. So it depends on what space you are working and what is your role and what role you want to have.
And like we chatted some time ago. You can change some parts of your personality. Like,
Definitely, yes. So we call them as limiting beliefs or our fears or our insecurities.
Right.
So sometimes, like as I said, that Simran, she's fearful of her relationships going somewhere, any friends, relatives, whatever. So she would do certain things which she's not even convinced of.
Yeah.
So that is actually stopping her to grow further. So that can be changed.
And that many of us are like that. I mean,
Yeah.
we're all part of the same human community, See, this must have started somewhere for you long ago. You didn't just suddenly decide one day that I want to do I want to learn graphology and be an expert. There must have been something that touched you. कोई incident ऐसा हुआ होगा आपकी life में?
Yes, Sony. So it was somewhere where I was maybe in the 7th grade or something. I had a peculiar kind of handwriting, which was definitely more visible or legible. But my teacher just flung the book out of the classroom, and she said, "Oh, you're going to be a crook because you have this kind of handwriting." And it actually hurt me at that time. Imagine a 7th grade girl being called a crook just by her handwriting. Well, over a period of time, I forgot, or probably it went in my subconscious mind and it kind of went away. But one fine day, after like years, 12 years back, I just picked up a newspaper and they had this article on handwriting, and they said that it can reveal a lot about you. All my thoughts, all my fears, all my hurt came back from my subconscious mind. I said, okay, I want to actually know what the teacher really meant, and did she really mean what she said. I went for that course and it revealed a lot about myself. That was one thing. And actually my handwriting goes left slant, which means that I am an introvert, which I am in reality. So after that, I tried to change a little bit and become a little more open, definitely with a conscious effort.
So that's the nub, isn't it?
Yeah.
कि एनालिसिस तो आप देंगे ही, उसका सोल्यूशन भी आप देंगे,
Yes.
मगर करना तो हम ही को है.
Yes.
Right? So it's a big P word that you need to practice. Am I
Definitely.
right?
Yes.
And you had worked very hard on this, right?
Yes, I worked very hard. So it was just not about being an introvert. There were a lot of other traits and other things which opened up to me. And I figured out that which things are not working for me. So definitely I was the first guinea pig for myself.
But there are obviously, you said earlier that you have added other modalities, like you were also working on words or astrology, did you say, or NLP or some other methods that you have added?
Yeah, so I've added counseling. So I'm a certified counselor as well with REBT and NLP methods, for the reason that when I started analyzing people, I could read so much about the person that they would break down in front of me. And I really didn't know how to calm the person down or help that person, because the motive was definitely to help the other person. But I couldn't really do it because they would break down emotionally. And that's when I learned how to counsel with these two methods. Yes, I've added numerology as well and been learning astrology, for the reason that these two sciences also reveal a lot about psychology, about the traits of the person, that how this person would be by nature, by birth. Graphology is something that what you are in present. Over a period of time, what is the kind of nature you have built with the surroundings, with the situations, with the people around, your relatives around that you have grown into. But numerology and astrology is more about how you've been born. So the shift or the transition that these are the innate nature, and this is where you have moved to. So where you need to come back to, and the strengths that you already possess, which everybody of us, over a period of time forget about it.
तो जैसे आपने innate nature कहा, तो जैसे स्वभाव, जाति स्वभाव जो है,
Yes.
उसी पे हम आगे रीड कर सकते हैं.
Yes.
एक और चीज़ मैं पूछना चाहूँगी कि आप काउंसलिंग तो करते ही हैं इंडिविजुअली, पर कॉर्पोरेट वर्कशॉप्स भी करते हैं, तो ये जब भी वर्कशॉप होता है, जब बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं, देयर आर मेनी पीपल इन द रूम, how do you manage to give them an insight about themselves?
When it is in a group, definitely to pinpoint certain things which is very very personal to them, थोड़ा difficult हो जाता है, and it is not very fair on my part on them also. But there are very common traits where actually the certain traits which needs to be known within the group. Like today we have these people and the whole group is there and the whole team is there. So certain things, if they know, if the team members know about each other, like okay, this person is not talking at the first go because he is introvert, then probably the other peoples will become more empathetic towards them.
Yes.
How do they perform? Are they very detailed oriented or are they big picture? If your team member knows, they can relate to what you're talking. Or in that manner that okay, this person needs their own space at times, so you become a little more giving or that space giving in that situation, where because you're working like for so many hours in a day almost continuously every day. So you need to know your people, your team, your group, as far as the corporate. So when I am doing a corporate workshop, it's more about certain things which are very very common and acceptable. We don't get into the personal details and fears.
जो आप कह रहे हैं वो जाति स्वभाव जो होता है, हर किसी का अलग अलग होता है, तो एक दूसरे को समझ सकते हैं इस वर्कशॉप के द्वारा, ताकि आप अच्छी टीम बना सके, एक दूसरे को जज ना करें.
Yes.
और जजमेंट जब चला जाता है तो आप एक यूनिटी आ जाती है ग्रुप में, and that is how a company can help itself to grow. And I have a couple of more things to ask you. Is this only applicable to the English language?
नहीं सोनी, ये हर लैंग्वेज में यूज़ होता है. कुछ लैंग्वेज या स्क्रिप्ट, एज इंडिया तो बहुत रिच है ये कल्चर में कि वी हैव सो मेनी स्क्रिप्ट्स. काफ़ी सारी स्क्रिप्ट्स है जो मैं पढ़ना नहीं जानती, लेकिन फिर भी अगर पूरा स्क्रिप्ट आए लिखा हुआ किसी ने हाथ से, फिर भी काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें बता सकते हैं अबाउट द पर्सनैलिटी ऑफ द पर्सन. एक हम जैसे कोई इंडिविजुअल रूम में आता है तो हम उनको देख के कुछ अंदाज़ा विद आवर एक्सपीरियंस लगा सकते हैं कि कॉन्फिडेंट है या नहीं, या कैसे सोचते होंगे या कैसे बोलते होंगे फ्रॉम far off. That is called gestalt method. Something which you can understand from far.
The overall picture.
तो overall picture हम कोई भी स्क्रिप्ट का, चाहे वो चाइनीज ही क्यों ना हो, उससे भी हम पता कर सकते हैं कि ये इंडिविजुअल क्या जानते हैं. हाँ, ट्रेट मेथड, इंडिविजुअल ट्रेट मेथड्स थोड़ा सा टफ हो जाता है फॉर अदर स्क्रिप्ट्स. उसके लिए इंग्लिश ज़रूरी है. But there are other methods, as I said, doodling है, drawing है, signature है, उससे काफ़ी सारा traits पता चल सकती है. But gestalt method से काफ़ी हद तक traits समझ में आ जाते हैं, personality समझ में आ जाती है, चाहे कोई भी script हो.
तो ये बहुत अच्छा है क्योंकि the range widens, हम बहुत सारे लोगों को आप मदद कर सकते हैं. और तो एक में मुझे दिमाग में एक सवाल और आया कि जो हम लिखते हैं सिर्फ पेन एंड पेपर ही एप्लीकेबल है, कि मैंने अगर बोर्ड पे कुछ लिखा या मैंने मिट्टी में कुछ लिखा उंगली से, क्या वो एप्लीकेबल है यहाँ पर?
एप्लीकेबल है, बट परसेंटेज कम हो जाती है, बिकॉज
माने उसकी एक्यूरेसी
कम हो जाती है. द रीजन इज कि ये एक साइंस है, ये आपके माइंड ग्राफ को पेपर पे कनेक्ट करता है. तो आप जैसे भी सोचते हो, जो भी सोचते हो, हमारा हार्ट ठीक काम नहीं कर रहा एंड वी गो टू द डॉक्टर कि ईसीजी कर रहे, और कैसे हार्ट फंक्शन कर रहा है वो ईसीजी से पता चले. हैंडराइटिंग आपकी ईसीजी है माइंड की ऑन पेपर. तो उसके लिए आपको एक कंफर्टेबल पोजीशन पे बैठ के ठीक से लिखना होगा. आप बोर्ड पे लिख रहे हो तो आप स्टैंडिंग हो, आपकी हाथ की पोजीशन ठीक नहीं है. मिट्टी में लिख रहे हो तो थोड़े से कुछ अलग ही मोड में हो, तो उस हिसाब से आएगा. जबकि आप पेपर पेन पे स्क्रिप्ट बनाते हैं, आपका सैम्पल हम लेते हैं, तो एक आप कंफर्टेबल पोजीशन पे हो, तो हम आपकी माइंड को कंप्लीटली वो जोन में लेके जाते हैं So the real person comes in.
वो सही तरह का एक्सरे हो जाएगा,
एक्सरे हो जाता है।
एब्सोल्युटली। तो मानसी, हमने कुछ पर्सनालिटीज की आपने एक शेयरिंग किया, इंट्रोवर्ट, तो लोगों को दिमाग में और भी आता है एक्सट्रोवर्ट या एम्बीवर्ट, तो उसके साथ साथ मुझे रिलेशनशिप्स की दिमाग में आ रहा है कि बहुत तरह के रिलेशनशिप्स हैं. देयर आर सो मेनी प्लेसेस वेयर वी कैन यूज this particular science, but we can't finish that in one episode. We will need to cover them in all the forthcoming months. तो जैसे जैसे हमारे episodes बनते जाएंगे, हम आपके साथ ये expertise share करते जाएंगे, because not only does this work on an individual basis, but because we are all part of a larger human society, and all the various relationships with our children, and if you are a child, this is with your parents or with your friends, with your all other relationships. There are so many aspects. In fact, you even said that it could help in enhancing our health.
Yes.
And I have experienced this personally, Mansi, for all your guidance. So much has helped me just by the way I have changed the way I write. Thank you for being with us here today, Mansi.
Thank you, Sonie, for this lovely opportunity. It's my pleasure to be here with you. So together we are going to actually explore this world of graphology and clear a lot of myths about this science. Let's do it together.